The cry of distress. The next day, Zarathustra again sat on his stones before his cave, while the animals were roaming through the outside world to find new nourishment. Also new honey, for Zarathustra had spent and squandered the old honey down to the last drop. But as he was sitting there, a stick in his hand, tracing his shadow on the ground, thinking, and verily, not about himself and his shadow, he was suddenly frightened, and he started. For beside his own shadow, he saw another shadow. And as he looked around quickly and got up, behold, the soothsayer stood beside him, the same he had once fated at his table, the proclaimer of the great weariness who taught all is the same, nothing is worthwhile. The world is without meaning, knowledge strangles. But his face had changed meanwhile, and when Zarathustra looked into his eyes, his heart was frightened. Again, so many ill tidings and ashen lightning bolts ran over his face. The soothsayer, who had noticed what went on in Zarathustra's soul, wiped his hand over his face as if he wanted to wipe it away. And Zarathustra did likewise. And when both had thus silently composed and strengthened themselves, they shook hands as a sign that they wanted to recognize each other. "Welcome," said Zarathustra, "you soothsayer of the great weariness. Not for nothing were you once my guest. Eat and drink with me again today, and forgive a cheerful old man for sitting at the table with you." "A cheerful old man," the soothsayer replied, shaking his head. "But whatever you may be or want to be, Zarathustra, you shall not be up here much longer. Soon your bark shall not be stranded any more." "But am I stranded?" Zarathustra asked, laughing. "The waves around your mountains," replied the soothsayer, "are climbing and climbing, the waves of great distress and melancholy. Soon they will lift up your bark, too, and carry you off." Zarathustra fell silent at that, and was surprised. "Do you not hear anything yet?" continued the soothsayer. "Does it not rush and roar up from the depth?" Zarathustra remained silent and listened, and he heard a long, long cry, which the abyss threw to each other and handed on, for none wanted to keep it. So evil did it sound. "You proclaimer of ill tidings," Zarathustra said finally, "this is the cry of distress and the cry of a man. It might well come out of a black sea, but what is human distress to me? My final sin, which has been saved up for me, do you know what it is?" "Pity," answered the soothsayer from an overflowing heart, and he raised both hands. "O Zarathustra, I have come to seduce you to your final sin." And no sooner had these words been spoken than the cry resounded again, and longer and more anxious than before. Also much closer now. "Do you hear? Do you hear, O Zarathustra?" the soothsayer shouted. "The cry is for you. It calls you. Come, 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 it is time. It is high time. Then Zarathustra remained silent, confused and shaken. At last he asked, as one hesitant in his own mind, "And who is it that calls me?" "But you know that," replied the soothsayer violently. "Why do you conceal yourself? It is the higher man who calls for you." "The higher man?" cried Zarathustra, seized with horror. "What does he want? What does he want?" "The higher man? What does he want here?" And his skin was covered with perspiration. The soothsayer, however, made no reply to Zarathustra's dread, but listened and listened toward the depth. But when there was silence for a long time, he turned his glance back and saw Zarathustra standing there trembling. "Oh, Zarathustra," he began in a sad tone of voice, "you are not standing there as one made giddy by his happiness. You had better dance, lest you fall. But even if you would dance before me, leaping all your side leaps, no one could say to me, 'Behold, here dances the last gay man.' Anybody coming to this height, looking for that man, would come in vain. Caves he would find, and caves behind caves, hiding places for those addicted to hiding, but no mines of happiness or treasure rooms or new gold veins of happiness. Happiness. How should one find happiness among hermits and those buried like this? Must I still seek the last happiness on blessed isles and far away between forgotten seas? But all the same, nothing is worthwhile. No seeking avails. Nor are there any blessed isles any more. Thus sighed the soothsayer. At his last sigh, however, Zarathustra grew bright and sure again, like one emerging into the light out of a deep gorge. "No, no, 3 times no," he shouted with a strong voice and stroked his beard. "That I know better. There still are blessed isles. Be quiet about that, you sighing bag of sadness. Stop splashing about that, you rain cloud in the morning. Do I not stand here even now, wet from your melancholy and drenched like a dog? Now I shake myself and run away from you to dry again. You must not be surprised at that. Do I strike you as discourteous? But this is my court. As for your higher man, well then, I shall look for him at once in these woods. Thence came his cry. Perhaps an evil beast troubles him there. He is in my realm. There he shall not come to grief. And verily, there are many evil beasts around me." With these words, Zarathustra turned to leave. Then the soothsayer said, "Oh, Zarathustra, you are a rogue. I know it. You want to get rid of me. You would sooner run into the woods and look for evil beasts. But what will it avail you? In the evening you will have me back anyway. In your own cave I shall be sitting, patient and heavy as a block, waiting for you." "So be it," Zarathustra shouted back as he was walking away. "And whatever is mine in my cave belongs to you too, my guest. And if you should find honey in there, well then, lick it up, you growling bear, and sweeten your soul. For in the evening we should both be cheerful. Cheerful and gay that this day has come to an end, and you yourself shall dance to my songs as my dancing bear. You do not believe it? You shake your head? Well then, old bear, but I too am a soothsayer. Thus spoke Zarathustra,